Hello and welcome to today's BizzyWebinar. This is Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb, inviting you to this event today. We're going to talk about campaigns that drive action, newsletters, and announcements. We're going to show you how to email and use social media to engage your clients. I am Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb, delighted to have you with us. And as a reminder, here's how to reach me if you do have any questions. And BizzyWeb is an online marketing and social media company that focuses on all kinds of wonderful stuff. So what we're going to talk through today is pretty in-depth. We're going to go through some big details today. But as a reminder, this is brought to you by Constant Contact. BizzyWeb is an authorized local expert for Constant Contact. And so today, I'm going to be talking to you from that perspective. If you'd like to join us, here's a quick boost on how. I'm just going to switch over from the BizzyWeb website. And we already have a bunch of viewers, so thank you very much for joining us. From the website, you can go into the event, and then when you click on the event, you can see this here. Let me refresh. There we go. So you can see this right here. And then if you would like to ask us questions during the event, you can click on this link, and I'll show you what that does in a second. If you'd like to watch live, you can simply click the play button or click on the title to go into the YouTube page to get a bigger view. And if you click on this button, what it's going to do is take you to the event page. You'll see inside of here a little Q&A and a live. And then if you click on this, it's going to open up a new window. And I need to mute this so that you don't hear me. And then you can ask questions live during the event, and I will take a few breaks during the event to answer those questions. So don't be shy. Ask any questions that you do have today, and we'd love to hear from you. If you click on the green button, just click Ask a Question here. And then when you click that question, it'll send me a little notice. I'll be able to connect in and answer those questions in turn. So you will need to have a Google account of some sort, either a Gmail account or ideally a Google Plus account. But if you have that, everything should be peachy. So that's how to do that and ask questions. We will return to this and answer or offer to answer questions a couple times during the event. Let's get down to business. Our agenda today is to talk about a few things. First, of course, what are campaigns and newsletters? Then we're going to get into detail a little bit more on email. And then we're going to branch out and talk about how email and social media can work together. Finally, we'll wrap up with some next steps, and we'll intersperse with some Q&A during the event. Again, this is your time, so don't be shy about asking those questions. Go on over to the Google Hangout link or to the Hangout page and ask those questions as we go. All right, let's get into campaigns and newsletters today. You know, at its core, marketing is really about getting a response. So you're going to click a button, you're going to ask people to do something, to engage with you somehow, to get them to take the next step in whatever you need. So a campaign is really something that's designed to help you push content to people and have that act of pushing the content pull a response back. So really, email marketing is the granddaddy of social media marketing, and all online marketing really should be a conversation now. People expect to be able to talk to you and to be able to hear back from you. So more on terminology. What's a newsletter? Now, newsletters are really simple things that bring out specific responses. So whether it's keeping your audience in the know, publishing newsletters, sending out cards or announcements, sending out business letters or releases, or even sending out emails that have custom code in them to get specific responses, that's kind of what we're talking about today. So what's email then? As we talk about email, what are you going to do? How are you going to write? And what do you need to do to have a successful email campaign? Well, first we have to know, of course, what to write about. And that's one of the biggest challenges that our clients see on a regular basis. You know, the blank screen or the blank constant contact template can be a very intimidating thing. Realize, however, that you're an expert in what you do. So write about what you know that they don't know about. Write about what you have access to that they don't. So when you're thinking about your clients or customers, what do you know better than them? What kind of trade publications have you subscribed to that your clients don't have? And what else can you do that they don't know? Think about this as polite conversation. You're gonna offer people helpful tidbits, helpful tricks and information that's interesting to them to help them grow their business or to get them to do what you want them to do. You don't have to be original in email in particular. You just have to be interesting and relevant. So make sure that you share things that are helpful, that are cool, things that you found that you know that your customers would be interested in. I personally keep a tickler file of things that look like they might be interesting to my clients. I keep those in a big list online. I use Evernote. And when I come up with, or when we talk about our newsletter topics and our blog posts, and then of course our email, we push all of that content out on a regular basis. The next obvious question, once you have everything figured out as to what you're going to say, is how often you're going to communicate. In general, less is more. You don't need to be sending emails every single day to your clients. If you do have special deals of the day or something like that, that might be an exception. But think about as less is more and really focus on what you need to do. So if you look at this, as people are emailing out, up to 51% of folks don't really care that they're connecting with you any other place. They're all on mobile devices. They're small, and whether it's an iPad or an iPhone or an Android or a tablet, the shorter you can make this, for people that are browsing on their phone in line at the grocery store, the better you're going to be. And think, of course, about pictures as well. The more you can make things graphically appealing to folks on mobile devices and to folks that are browsing your emails, the more effective you're going to be. And think about it in your day-to-day interactions and look at the email marketing that you receive or the marketing in general that you receive that you find compelling or that you read more on. As you look at this as a marketer now, you need to figure out and pay attention to what registers with you as being interesting and helpful. So as you look at this, the more you can get things out, pictures get 47% more click-through than content without images. But there's a trick here. Don't over-rely on images because some folks have images turned off on their browsers or on their phones. And text labels can be very helpful in that, and that's part of the Constant Contact toolkit. When you're creating a newsletter, you enter in the alt text or the image or the text around the images to tell people what they're missing, and either they'll turn on images if your image content is that compelling, or at least they'll know or understand what you're talking about. Don't use images of your content, so don't take an image of text that doesn't work at all. And remember, if your content is viewed on mobile devices, it's going to get crazy looking. So let's look at what it might look like for images on your email marketing. So the first one on this list is an email that came out, but the user has their messages blocked. So, or their images blocked on their messages. So right there, and especially on mobile devices, again, if you're in unreliable cell coverage or if you don't have an unlimited data plan on your phone, you may be tempted to shut off images, and this is what you're going to see. The second option or the second image here, you can't quite tell what this is because there's a huge image there, and while it's interesting, it doesn't necessarily get you to that next step or make you want to do anything other than start scrolling around. And then the third one over, unless your company is really NB Fit A, then something's going on with this image. The image has made this email too wide, and so you have to think about that and post relevant and easy images on your email marketing. Otherwise, things can just look weird. Realize, of course, as we branch into other areas of online marketing, that some channels do thrive on visuals. So email, of course, is great, but think about Instagram. Instagram is completely about images, as is Pinterest. And then Facebook to a lesser extent, but the more imagery you have in all of your marketing, the better off you're going to be because that's how people interact. I'd also branch into and say that video is getting very interesting and getting very helpful. We also all have camcorders in our pockets along with cameras now. So it's easy to create simple and engaging video as well as imagery on all of our messages. And there's specific ways that you need to do that inside of your marketing. We actually have an advanced webinar on email marketing coming up in the next few weeks. So keep your eye on BizzyWeb.com/events for more in-depth use and how to do that. Remember, of course, that all of this messaging, all of the imagery that you put out, you can repurpose and reuse across all of your networks. Next part is when to send this content. You know, if it's going to be read now, later, or never, that's what people are going to ask as they're filling out or as they're reading your messaging. And if you're boring or if things don't work, that's going to be a big issue. And so as you think about your ideal customer sitting in line, waiting for something, and they happen to open up your email on their phone, what are they going to look at? It's going to be who it's from. So make sure that you're labeling your imagery or labeling your email so that it's you ideally or some person on your team, because people react much better to actual people versus busy web sales or constant contact sales. You know, that's an automatic delete, right? But if it comes from Dave Meyer or someone else on your team, then they'll be much more likely to open it, especially if they already know you personally. Take a look very carefully at the subject, and we're going to talk a little bit more about proper subject lines in a few minutes. But then also look at when you send that communication. So the more targeted you can be, and the more you can test to make sure that you're reaching people at exactly the right time and with exactly the right subject and the right person that it's coming from, the better your open rates and the better your even better next actions are going to be. Also think about who it's from. So when we talk through this, how are you going to be the most recognizable across all of your networks? So as you think about this, you know, email and LinkedIn and Instagram, Google, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube, all of those have account names associated with them. Make sure that you're using a consistent name and a consistent content across all of those networks. And also think about, as you send things out, you need to format your messages precisely. Constant Contact helps you with this, but the Canned Spam Act is a very big deal. And inside of the Canned Spam Act, it says that you have to have a physical address and a way to unsubscribe very clearly inside of every email. And same should go to all of your other broad marketing tools. You know, make sure that you're entering in as much information as possible to help people confirm that it's a real person that's sending them this information versus some soulless, faceless corporation. So the more you can be in-depth and real as an organization and in your marketing, the better your results are going to be, and the more likely you're going to be just in line with the legality. Brand consistency is also very important. So make sure that you're looking at how things connect and how you can reach out. You've spent time on your brand, and if you haven't, by all means, talk to us. But think about your logo needs to connect and needs to look professional. Your emails need to look professional and engaging. They should also be relevant to your clients, to your client base. If you're trying to market to children or to younger adults, you wouldn't necessarily want to have a lot of pictures of gray-haired people or rocking chairs or whatever. And likewise, if you're trying to reach a more mature market, having text message speak LOLs or, you know, OMGs and all that stuff inside of there is going to be less helpful to you. We talked a little bit about subject lines earlier, but let's get into really how to battle priorities and subject lines. Here's some general information on what you need to think about. I like to call it the 2-2-2 philosophy. So first, the first 2 seconds, you need to give them some reason to compel them to pay attention. So if they can't figure out what you're trying to do, and if they aren't going to be interested in that first 2 seconds, you're missing the boat. The second 2 is the first 2 words of your subject line or headline. You've only got a couple of words that people are even going to be able to see in the preview mode on their email. So make sure that your first couple of words really make sense. And finally, The last two is today. So give them something that they can do immediately, or give them a reason to click now or to take that next action. So what that looks like in the real world, let's look at bad versus good. Here's something that's kind of weak. March newsletter. Contrast that to tomorrow, we need 3 hammers. Can you help? That's immediate. That's right in there. Tomorrow, need is the first 2 words. Joe's Pet Store newsletter. Again, you're noticing that newsletter is probably a bad thing to call it. Alert, help your dog beat the heat. That's something that's very relevant and is going to drive action immediately. Children's classes could be better said as still time, openings available for children's classes. Right inside of that first preview, still time and openings available is probably going to be viewable inside of your event or inside of your email. And so focus on relevance. And again, think about 222, 2 seconds, 2 words, and today in what you can do to get the most impact on your email subject lines. Also think about when to send. A lot of times we just send things monthly, but it's important to think about when your readers are most likely to take the action that you want. A lot of times people say that from Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 or 3 p.m. is a good time of day to send out any given message. The theory being that Mondays we're all trying to catch up, Fridays we're all checked out, and that works for corporate folks, but perhaps not if you have clientele that aren't in front of computers or aren't checking their phones during the workday. So maybe an evening would be a better time to send out your note. The key thing is you're going to have to find your best day. Easy way to do that is to divide your list into 3 groups of people and then select 3 days in the week to test those messages. Maybe it's a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday. Maybe it's a Tuesday, Thursday, and a Saturday. Maybe it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But select those 3 days and then send your email and watch for the best response. I'm going to talk a little bit in a second about what response is. It's not necessarily open rate. Whenever people actually do the action that you want them to do when you send that message, the better off you're going to be. It also matters for time. You know your day of the week now, but now think about your time. So you've got your favorite day of the week. Same 3 groups of people. Select the 3 times of day for your best results. Maybe it's first thing in the morning, midday, and then evening, or maybe it's 3 different times inside of the workday if you know your clients very well. Send that email, and again, know or look at your best time of day with the best results when people are actually going to take that note. Don't be romanced by a high open rate on this. Measure actions. So if people are opening your email but not doing anything, or just opening it, reading it, and closing it and not doing anything more, whether it's calling you, checking in, downloading a white paper, taking the next action, liking you on Facebook, whatever you need your readers to do. If they don't do that, then keep looking for that perfect time and that perfect message to get you to that next step. Here's some practical advice on all of this. When you think about imagery, again, 67% don't see images by default. Text links tend to get more clicks than buttons, oddly enough, but sometimes it's not very clear as what a button will do, especially in an email. Always place your logo left or center in the email. That keeps it visible. And depending on browsers, if you have an email that has a logo on the far right, if they don't browse sideways or drag their email browser sideways to see it, they won't know it's you. And then make sure that you include your company name in the text. So, for example, email marketing from us should be from Dave Meyer at BizzyWeb, or Jen Meyer at BizzyWeb, or whoever is sending our notes. So make sure that you get that down and make it as personal as possible. More advice, keep your key action above the scroll line. Don't give too many choices on any given thing. If you want one thing to happen during the next period between when you send your email and the next time, just focus on that one thing. Don't give them 15 things to do. Don't give them more than a couple at the absolute max. And make all images clickable and with text labels for folks that do happen to have their imagery turned off. And make sure to test it on yourself, send yourself that test message, and open up that message both on your browser and your mobile device. Make sure that you check more than one kind of mobile device as well. iPhones and Androids, tablets and phones should all be tested as much as possible. So let's talk about email and social media. In the olden days, back in 2008, only 10% of small businesses used social media marketing. Now, it's completely flipped. 87% of small businesses are using social media marketing as of 2013. As of Constant Contact Small Business Then and Now study, it's exploding. It's a much higher even now in 2015. We've had an entire one more year to take care of this, and things keep ramping up. Social media influences decisions. 74% of folks say that they rely on social networks to guide their purchase decisions. 55% of folks share purchases on social networks. And for nonprofits, 68% learn more about a charity if they see a friend posting about it. Think about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Huge availability and huge opportunity that never would have happened without easily shareable social. So you have to use both email and social media in order to get your best results. Email is the old standby and it works well. It's the battle axe of online marketing. But you can use all of the social networks to amplify your email response and then drive traffic back to your email list and everything else through your social media. If you have an active and engaged social base, you'll see a lot more publications and a lot more information trafficking back and forth between all of your accounts. The idea is that your online marketing should all be based in an entire ecosystem. You don't just have Facebook, you don't just have email, and you don't just have a website. Now, I would say that your website should be the absolute foundation of everything that you do, and you can set up your website to auto-post to your social networks and to collect email addresses so that you can reach out to folks on a regular basis via push marketing. But make sure that you think about all of this as you're publishing content. And before I move further, I'm just going to switch over. Make sure to remind folks to ask questions if they do have any. Again, if you go into this event page, and if you're browsing from here, click on this Google Plus link. You'll have to have a Google Plus account. But when you click on this link, you're going to go to this page, and you'll see a little link that has a smaller version of the window, and it says click here or live and Q&A. If you click that button, you'll be able to click inside of this Ask a New Question link to ask us questions during the event. So we've got a whole ton of folks on here. I know you're not shy. Go ahead and ask those questions, and I'll answer them in a few different places along this event. We're about a little over halfway through the information, so this is your chance. If you have a burning question that you'd like to see answered, now's your time. Of course, you can also reach out to us at the link down at the bottom. There's a special offer that we're offering folks at the bottom of this event. It's BizzyWeb.com/cc. That'll get you to our website, and you can send information to us at either sales or support at BizzyWeb.com, or give us a call at the number for those questions. All right, moving on. Let's talk about email and social media. Here's a great example. Boloco has a great unified look and feel across all of their social networks. So you can see from their emails that they've got a consistent logo and great branding. That's the same across Facebook and Twitter, Google+, YouTube. All of those networks look consistent, look the same, and there's some overlap in content, but they're broadcasting to all of their different relevant networks. Same thing with the Girl Scouts of Northeast Texas. You can see from the broadcast of their email, it has the right logo, it has the right content that sends notes out on LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. All of that is available inside of here. Now, there's some things that I don't think they're doing quite perfectly. There's pictures of people inside of this note, and unless you know some of those people, or unless you have eagle-eyed vision, I'd much rather see the Girl Scouts logo inside of there, so that as you're browsing in the itty-bitty little thumbnails that you get in social networking accounts, I would focus on that. So there's one word of advice. keep your logos consistent across all of your social networks in your organization. Again, though, here's another final example. Tax Talk at Liberty Tax, they put together a consistent and constant note. They've got their logo here in their email. It says Tax Talk, very easily browsable email newsletter. And then it goes right into their Google Plus account, their Twitter account, and their Pinterest account. Liberty Tax Service, you wouldn't figure would be a huge Pinterest client or Pinterest information, but they have pictures of the people that they connect with, of their mascot dressed up and running around. And that shows folks, that they're engaged with the community. So next steps is probably where we should go next. And so where do you take all of this? How do you do this and make it run? First, use some tools to expand your reach. You know how to send emails. And if you don't have a Constant Contact account, again, check out that BizzyWeb.com/cc link to register for your own Constant Contact account. I'll talk more about the special offer that we have, but we're going to create a new template based on your website for free if you register with us through the next week. But Constant Contact has a bunch of tools that are readily available to help you broadcast your message across more than just email, including social media. So the social sharing tool, the Simple Share tool, makes it super easy inside of emails to connect up. All you need to do is add your Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn profiles to have Constant Contact publish the contents of your newsletter across all of those networks, or to let people share any of the relevant articles inside of those newsletters to folks in their networks. On websites, there are social media sharing buttons. It's easy to reach out and connect if you give people a way to link. And don't just link to Facebook.com, link them to your page on Facebook. Same thing with Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. It's possible to have accounts that go to your business on all of these. Make sure that you take them to a relevant link that's going to get them to the next step. Offline tools can also help expand your reach. So we have an entire webinar that we give. I believe the last time I delivered this 50 ways to grow your list note or presentation, we talked in great depth. That was probably around mid to late November of last year. But there's ways to take email addresses either at the register or with a check at the end of your meals or on registration forms, hand out cards, give away little business cards or some sort of candy that have a registration link or a landing page on your website that gets you to that next step, which leads me to having a web sign up tool. There's an app for Facebook and other things that you can connect with. Make it easy for people to connect with you and to stay connected by joining your email newsletter. The more you can do this, the better off you're going to be. There's other tools like Scan to Join or Text to Join from Constant Contact that you can use. Talk to us about that if you want more details. But then there's also apps like iCapture, Shoeboxed, WiseStamp, and many more to help you register and connect with people where they live, where they're interested in all of your content. So the more you can do this, the more you can reach out. There's all kinds of tools. You need to figure out what works for you. Successful online marketing is almost like successful professional tinkering. You have to be willing to try new things, change things, and kind of keep your eyes on the horizon, which is why I'm delighted that so many people are signed up today or watching today from this webinar, because this is a great way to keep sharp in everything that you're doing online. Also think about a content calendar for everything that you do. Think about spreading out your content over a regular kind of set of time. Even if you do one email newsletter every month, again, don't call it a newsletter, but talk about a lot of different things over social networks and over your website. So maybe you've got Motivation Mondays on Facebook and Pinterest. Maybe Fridays you've got your newsletter going out in the second Friday of the month. And then you publish something about a new product. Maybe Wednesdays is email, like a general update email, Facebook and Twitter. The key is make it consistent, set down your schedule, spread it out a little bit so that you're not hitting people too much, and make sure that your content is relevant and interesting. So some of you may be wondering what all this stuff looks like on the back end. So I'm going to share with you a couple of things. Some of you may have this version of Constant Contact. Some of you may have the new toolkit. If you haven't used toolkit yet, or if you're just on a straight email marketing list, I would encourage you to check that out or to get a hold of us, because we can help you with that. The difference between regular email newsletters and Constant Contact and toolkit is all of that social stuff to help you promote your products and services across Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and connect out, especially on Facebook, which is the biggest social network. But then also you can reach out and manage events and campaigns and do surveys and find out information about your content and about your business from what your customers and your subscribers think. That's all available with all of this. It's very simple to look at. It's very simple to engage with. Here's an example of what it looks like in an edit mode. Very simple. If you know how to send an email, you know how to connect with Constant Contact. And then also, I've been hinting at this all afternoon here, but we've got a special offer for folks. If you start a Constant Contact account by the middle of this month, we'll give you a free template design. That's a $199 value. You send us your content, we'll get your email newsletters set up, but then we're going to have the design team at Constant Contact create a custom template for you. We've had about a dozen clients now of ours take advantage of this offer, and it's been astounding how great those email newsletters look. And it takes a little bit of time to create a beautiful looking newsletter. So if you sign up, you'll be jump-started, fast-tracked to get your online marketing looking amazing through this deal. So by Feb 15, go to BizzyWeb.com/cc and click the link at the bottom of that page. I'll give you an example of what that is. If you look right here on CC, it says, give me my offer, click this link. If you sign up with us, pay up, you'll get a $199 value for a free email newsletter template. All right. How much does all this stuff cost? For basic email newsletters, that's $20 a month. Essential, the toolkit, which includes the campaigns, landing pages, tracking, event marketing, and all of that wonderful stuff, is $45 a month for up to 500 contacts. And Ultimate, if you want a personal coach along with you, is $195 a month. By far, the most recommended and the most popular is the Essential Toolkit. For $45 a month, you just can't touch it for the amount of value that it brings to your business. Here's a brief overview of what the differences are between each of these. And you get campaigns and plus campaigns on a basic. You have to spend an extra $50 per use. So if you're ever going to send a plus campaign with social media, it behooves you to get Constant Contact's toolkit or the Essential Toolkit. Contact management is built in on all three. Coaching is built in on all three. You get quite a bit more personalized marketing with Ultimate, but all of them, you have the 800 number that you can dial up, and they'll tell you what to do, how to fix things, what you can do to get better results. The one thing that's vastly different between Constant Contact and all of the other email marketing tools is their team. They're amazing. They're super helpful. And if you just dial the 800 number, you're going to get great response and results right from their US-based team. File storage, big deal, 250 megabytes versus 2 gig and unlimited. Integrated reporting, social sharing and tracking. And then Essential also wins you campaign design and autoresponders. That's if someone subscribes to your email newsletter or takes some other action off of your website or some other integration, it automatically sends them back an email or a series of emails to help whet their appetite and get them more engaged with you. And then finally, the personal marketing coach is the big difference. In summary, wanted to remind you what BizzyWeb can do for you while we wait for one last second to get those questions in. So again, ask us some questions. We'd love to hear from you. We've got a ton of folks online, and I can't believe you're this shy, but go ahead and hit us. BizzyWeb does web design. And so if you want a WordPress-powered website that will automatically integrate social media into everything that you do, so all you have to do is update your website, and have it automatically post to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, and more, talk to us today because we can help you with that. We also have world-class WordPress web hosting, and for $25 a month, we will back up your website. We'll update all of your software. We'll make sure that we scan against malware to make sure that no nasties get onto your website. And we have 3 hours of service and support built right in to your hosting account so that you can just call a real live human being and have us talk through what you need to do or fix something for you if you're having issues. We also offer online marketing, which is where the Constant Contact Toolkit comes in. And then make sure that you connect up with us every Wednesday and register again at BizzyWeb.com/events. Make sure that you click the Stay in Touch button in your email marketing so that we can keep up there. What we've got coming up in our online marketing, I'm just going to go to the events page here. We've got coming up next week, BizzyWebinar, customizing your WordPress theme. So if you want to dig in a little bit deeper and figure out how things are going, would like to see that. If you're around the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, would love to have you at our Customer Appreciation Networking event on Friday the 13th, a very lucky date. And then our Busy webinar on offers and promotions is going to take you deeper into how to create a compelling offer or a promotion via Constant Contact's Toolkit to take your business to the next level. We're going to talk about social media advertising on the 25th, and then be sure to stay in the loop and register to know what's coming up next. I do see a question coming in on what is campaign design. They're a current contact user, so thanks, Jennifer, for asking that question. And campaign design is really the newsletter template is what I'm talking about. So if you're a current Constant Contact user, you may, if you haven't had this experience before, get a hold of us, and maybe if you're a newsletter, only or a standard toolkit account holder, if you upgrade to the Essential Toolkit, we might be able to help you out with that and get you a newsletter template design. We'll basically take your website, look at it, and update and create a custom email template for you to send out newsletters, promotions, general updates, what have you, from your Constant Contact account. So hopefully that helped, Jennifer. And by all means, keep asking if you have more questions. Let me go back for a second and remind folks that if you would like more personalized information and to get more details on what's happening with your online marketing, go to BizzyWeb.com/buzz, fill out the form, and we're going to give you an in-depth online marketing report that's going to look at your search engine optimization, how things are going for you, and give you recommendations on steps that you can take next to get even better results. If you're already a Constant Contact customer, send us along an email that you're already sending, and we'll give you a brief analysis there too. But we're going to look at your website, your social media, your search engine optimization inside of your website, how mobile responsive your website is, and give you real-world tips to grow your business using all of the tools that we've been talking about today. Last chance for questions. And again, as a reminder, go ahead and visit us at BizzyWeb.com/cc to see or to get access to that special offer and get your email newsletter template. And I think that's pretty much good. I'm going to hang out for just another moment. We've got still 50 people online, so would love to have you with us and to hang out. But if you do have those questions, now is the time. Ask us anything about online marketing, and would love to have you with us. Again, I am Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. If you do have those questions, ask them now. But if not, no problem. Send us in a note to sales@BizzyWeb.com or get a hold of us at any of these links, either BizzyWeb.com/buzz or at BizzyWeb.com/cc, or give us a call at 612-424-9990 to get all the information that you need and to help you take your marketing to the next level. I'm Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. Thank you so very much for joining us today. Remind you, and thank you again, but with BizzyWeb, we help you generate buzz without getting stung. Have a fantastic week. Talk to you next time.